our departure is the mandate from the Security Council. So if Security Council in the mandate described high military and political responsible, so high. So the problem is where you put the barrier, that it is high or under this barrier. I remember very well that September 99, October 99, when I was first in function, we established a list of 200 accused suspects. But after Security Council, with the political institution that have surveillance about the tribunal, told us you must completion strategy, you must finish, and so we go higher and higher and higher, because the Security Council in the resolution that they issued told us we must, and so we came higher and higher. But the indication is high political and military perpetrators, and at the very beginning, rightly, the prosecutor decided with the mid-level perpetrators, because the international community was waiting that this tribunal shows.
Okay. So you're saying
to be able to do the work.
So the position
it is discretionary power of the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Quote and unquote, because at the end it's the Security Council who decide.
Okay. But still, even with this, was this the sole criterion? The level, the position, the higher up, start at the top and then you work your way down?
That is one of the criteria, and the second one was the gravity of the crimes.
Okay. And was that always clear to you, Heikelien? What Carla del Ponte tells us now, on what grounds they prosecuted and what not?
It's extremely difficult from the outside to see what the policy is. It's something that's going on behind closed doors, and you only see the effect. And in the beginning, it was a rather random selection. Tadic was there. Yeah. He was there. It was easy to get. And from the beginning, Goldstone, first prosecutor, said, well, we have to work from the bottom up. He had to, because he had no choice at all, so even if he did not believe it, he had to believe it. Slowly, you could see a different policy, but then what I noticed in the last few years, that the policy was also, but it's from the outside, going more after Croatians and even people from Macedonia, a more clear division between the different parties in the conflicts. Before it was easy to accept that there were more Serbians, and then later you put an emphasis, for instance, on Gotovina and the Croatian side, and Croatians are extremely angry with you because of it.
The criticism has been that it was a tilt towards Serbians.
Yeah, but maybe
Serbians.
Well, it's absolutely impossible, I think, to find out whether that was in a correct relation to what happened on the ground. It's very difficult to say so many Serbians were involved in the war and so many Croats and so many Montenegrins, etc. But I think you could see maybe more on a practical level that there was a tendency to take the actions from the Croat side during the war more seriously than before, although there were indictments against them. But maybe that's just my impression. Whether you change something inside your organization which made it more visible.
But it's much more without particular motivation or indication. Because why at the beginning it was the Serbs suspects or perpetrators? Because it was easy to collect evidences. Because we were helped by the international community, by the NGOs, by all the people who are there during the conflict, and they deliver evidences. So, that is also a technical question.
Practical
question.
Okay.
You have a lot of evidences, and so let's go on, because, the international community was looking at this tribunal. Are they able to do it, because, many thought, it is just an alibi tribunal, we will never... So it was a necessity also to... But when I arrived in 1999, of course, it was a much better situation, because we were able to sit down, to have first the full knowledge of the historical background of the conflict, of this armed conflict, the identification from the different massacres, the different crimes commission, and from there, from the crime base, to go up to identify the high military and political responsible. So at that time, in 1999, 2000, we had much more time to analyze more how to proceed to execute the mandate.
There's also the pressure of success. You have to show successes.
At my time, it was no more of that, because the success was shown before by my predecessor, that they were able to conduct trial. On my time, it was the time to show that we are doing it. We are continuing and doing it properly.
Now, returning, not returning, but going to one of the major events, the process against Milosevic. When he died, was that? Did you see that as a major defeat?
But this I remember very well. It was a Saturday morning, and I received a telephone call at 10 o'clock. I was in Ticino, telling me Milosevic is dead. I was angry. I could not believe it, because if I have an accused who is surrounded by the best medical advice and doctors was Milosevic, and 2 months before the end of the trial, I said I was upset. I was angry. But okay, I come back immediately, and you know the rest.
In retrospect, and of course now we know what you didn't know at the time, would you have done it differently with the process? People have said it was too broad, it was too complex, the indictment was too complex. Would you, in retrospect, do you think it would have been wiser to narrow it down?
I will answer you in two modalities. First of all, I would tell you no, because I'm representing all the victims. I don't want to have victims of category A or B, because you are victim from a massacre or from a village that is not contemplated in the indictment. You will write me a letter and say, why, prosecutor, did you not? What does it mean? Are you not, So, you don't have partie civile in our trial. It is a prosecutor who represents all the victims. Second, an accused, in our evaluation, must be confronted with all counts that at that time were present against him. And complex cases, yes. Complex investigation, complex indictment, complex case. So, why was Milosevic allowed to defend himself personally first? Why he was not obliged to take defense counsels? And instead to work only 3 days, 4 hours per day, we could work all day in a hearing. And in a couple of years we were